Hello, fellow AFL enjoyers. Back with a new chair. Right now, we've got a new chair.
Something new every week.
That is true. That is true. And a bedside table that's acting as a coffee table with nothing on it at the minute. We're still working on the pot plant.
Yes.
But yeah, we're going to be watching the Brownlow at the same time whilst doing this prelim little.
Yeah, so if we randomly go, oh, no way, halfway through.
Rail, 3 votes again. Bear with us. But yeah, those were some fun prelims, boys.
Yeah, some
Grand
big
Final
games, man.
set.
Well, we're not really surprised about the result. I mean, Geelong clearly, I think, best team. You could have expected the Pies to come out. They're a high pressure team that can kind of make it work. But I think Brisbane, 3 grand finals in a row now. They've clearly shown that they're a capable team, and too much firepower in the end for the Pies.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll start off with the game that was first, the Geelong Hawthorn. And whilst you may have suspected Geelong winning, did you expect Paddy Dangerfield at 43 years old or however old the guy is to just be the best player in the comp?
Unreal.
For a night, I think was it the highest ever ranked prelim?
He's
On record, yeah.
He's pulled the 177 Supercoach.
Insane, man.
The thing about it was, so in that first quarter, Hawthorn has jumped them. And, it sort of cuts to the other team and you see they're sort of talking to each other after a goal scored and something. I did actually notice he was super chill and calm. And obviously he's been there, done that. But part of me was thinking, is that just for show? Are you just giving off the chill vibes? But clearly with the performance that followed, dude was unfazed. And that's what you need. And I think the common theme of the weekend was you can have these exciting younger teams, but experience is everything in the finals. And I've got no doubt Collingwood and Hawthorn will be back in probably the same position next year and better for it. But Geelong, as you said, Brisbane's been there, done that last few years. Geelong, same for years now. And he's a perfect example. He's been through the pain. He knows what it feels like. He's had the win. Unfazed.
Without doubt. And I thought, I kind of noticed what you noticed as well. I felt like he was a bit of a calm presence in the first quarter when most of the Geelong team were uncharacteristically fumbling and turning the ball over, which you don't see much with Geelong. And the Hawks were all over him. Credit to them. They started the game real hot and really felt like not only were they on top, but they had come to play. And from the coach's box perspective, they seemed like they were really on top of it. But what we know about Geelong is that they're professional and they'll find a way to kind of fight their way back. And they did so in the second quarter, led by Dangerfield. And he goes into the midfield, he gets all these clearances, starts to dominate. Max Holmes gets on the run. He didn't have much of an impact in the first quarter. And they just start to turn the tides. And then they're ahead at halftime and, no danger done, right? And then come in the third quarter and Dangerfield was involved in everything. Just the brutality of the man on display. And the rest of the team obviously played their part as well. And what we love about Geelong is just their evenness. And you just see they were playing a forward half game. They're winning a lot of the centre bounce clearances. And you've got all these players like Myers, Dempsey, Brad Close, Tyson Stengel, Jeremy Cameron. They're just, even Jack Bowes, they got for steak knives years ago. They've made into a great player.
Jack Martin, you mentioned him.
Jack Martin. I don't think he had much of an influence, but yeah, skillful. These players on the forward half, they've got to be the best forward half combination of players, I think, in the competition. So even, you'd back any one of those players to win a 1-on-1 contest. That's, especially Graham Myers and Tyson Stengel. They're brilliant.
Graham Myers, man. He's come alive this year, man.
Yeah.
The move into the midfield.
Yeah.
There was a rundown tackle that he did. He's kicked a lovely goal as well in the game. It's just another string to their bow of a dude who, he kicks it so well, and just the finesse at which he goes about it.
Yeah, the cleanliness around the contest. They all run so hard for each other. And so they run up the field. You find him in defense, then you find him in the forward half. And we're not even talking about the two guns, Baz and Holmes, who run even harder than anyone. Pretty special.
Yeah. No, I
so
think
I thought
your two best players are probably the best runners in your team as well. I think it bodes well for the rest of the squad.
100%.
Really, because the more role player type guys, they have to be good runners. Otherwise, they're not going to play.
Yeah.
But if those, dudes who are making impact like that are also, proper athletes, it's huge. I think with Dangerfield playing in the mids, it's been a while, right? It's almost like it catches teams off guard because you can't, what are you going to do? How do you prepare for him as a player? Because when he's forward, he's kicking goals and he's creating impact. If he's in the midfield, you can't really stop him because he's just it's like muscle memory for that guy. He hasn't forgotten how to do the role. So,
No. Well, I feel like every time he goes in there, he wins it.
yeah. So it almost feels like, why don't we do it for the rest of the season? But at the same time, you want to save it
keep
for
him fresh,
now.
yeah.
It's that big impact moments. Just chuck him in there.
Yeah. So I mean, like Geelong, they proved that they were too good in the second half. But credit to Hawthorn for still never. The game was never completely out of their hands, and they had moments where they kicked a couple in a row, and it was that mathematical pot. It was 20 points. They could do it. They could make it happen. So they didn't disgrace themselves.
No.
It just felt like Geelong had too much firepower. They just the way that they would kick goals from contest and from clearance, to break the kind of the tension was quite impressive.
And to be fair as well to Hawthorn, I guess, but massive respect to Geelong, they were lethal in front of goal as well. Like there's been times in multiple finals where you've got all the territory and dominance, but you don't convert on the scoreboard. But I think they were 17-13 in the end.
Yeah, and
In the wet, it was raining as well.
Yeah.
Like,
and then 13-7 for the Hawks. So they were not bad either. So.
Not bad. So both teams sort of brought it, but yeah, Geelong, you'd think some of the goals they were kicking, you would forget it was raining. Like really skillful performance, really clutch when it mattered.
Yep.
In the first quarter, I just wanted to add a thing here on the Hawks. So one thing I noticed, which was really impressive for a young team playing in their first prelim, was there was a clear message for me from Sam Mitchell to not bomb it long. And quite a few times they showed the footage zoomed out and how well Geelong was set up behind the ball, expecting the dump kick, and it never came.
Yeah.
So they were taking on the tacklers, they were lowering the eyes, and it was working. But obviously the trouble with that is all that Geelong needed to do was either win the ball, which they did in the third quarter. They just won literally every clearance.
Yeah.
Or if you lose it, just up the heat, which they were obviously capable of doing. And they did that as well. So when the Hawks couldn't get their hands on the ball anymore, or when they did, they were just under the highest pressure of the entire game in that third quarter. It was never going to end well. But the intention, and I think that's the one thing I would hope, like a North or a Carlton, like if your team's in the finals, you want to see them calm, play the game, execute a style, and they did that. So I think the Hawks fans will be optimistic about next year.
Yeah. 100%.
But obviously Geelong, just the big boys, man. When they needed to, they just got it done.
And they did it. We should talk about Tom Stewart. They did it with Tom Stewart going down.
Yeah.
With
Very
the
early.
concussion. So that's obviously very topical now because he's going to miss the grand final for concussion.
Otherwise known as the Paul Curtis rule.
Yes, 100%. You guys had an idea. We were talking about it off the pod. Tom Stewart, if he was to have the ability to sign a waiver and accept all risk and throw away the AFL's duty of care so he can play the grand final.
I don't know
Could
the
that
ins and
be-
obviously
yeah.
there's a lot of ins and outs, but
Yeah,
I
of
just
course.
think it's your health. If you are educated on the subject, which you would think that they are,
Yeah.
then you make the call yourself. If you've got headaches or lingering symptoms, just be honest. If you want to lie to yourself and risk it, that's also your choice.
Yeah.
So
But I think it has to be very, I feel like as soon as you sign that type of waiver, all of a sudden, any claim that you can make in 20, 30 years' time, the AFL can be like, hey, you did that. Like, is there such a thing legally that exists?
I would
like
have
that?
no
Yeah,
idea,
of course
but it would
not.
have to be.
We're not lawyers.
It would have to be that from the AFL's perspective of we don't care if another one happens or not, or something was already you cannot. It's so hard to prove any of this because it's not an exact science. So
Yeah.
they would, void all responsibility forever.
The problem with something like that is it then sets a precedent for any player throughout any round to go, I'm fine, boys.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's
So it just never happened.
Correct.
Yeah.
No.
It'll put pressure on dudes who are like, hey guys, I actually take my health seriously. I don't want to play this week.
Yeah.
It'll make them look weak.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly advocating for it, but part of me also just says if he wants to and he feels fine, he should. I guess the
It's
obvious
a grand
answer.
final, man. It's the biggest moment in people's
Correct.
lives, and Tom Stewart's lucky enough that he's won premierships.
Yes.
One or two. So he's it's not like the biggest deal.
Well, I think
But for someone who might not ever make it again, which is usually the case,
You never know.
make one grand final max in their career.
Well, I think the obvious answer is what they're talking about is changing the bye structure because obviously the pre-finals bye is in there, like you said earlier, the North Melbourne rule because we arrested all the players that one time. But also, so you do a bye then you win your first final, then you got another bye, then you win again, then there's another bye. I get that that's a bit ridiculous too.
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer, but it is obviously a harsh thing. You're trying to balance the well-being of the players, but also you want all the best players playing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I guess it comes down to he goes, Tom Stewart cannot play this week. But then you kind of think to yourself, that's a rule put into place to protect Tom Stewart. But if Tom Stewart's fine,
Mm.
is there an exception to the rule? I guess that's
Yeah,
kind of
and
the
only he
thought
knows
process.
that. Only he
Yeah.
really knows that, unless there's massive symptoms that's obvious. Probably what does make sense for me is Bravo Sheasel, 2 votes. Probably what does make sense. Probably what does make sense to me is you scrap the pre-finals bye, and if a team wants to tank for ladder position and whatever, that's their prerogative. In my opinion, you're managing your team. So be it.
I'm fine with that. I like the idea of having momentum going straight into finals as well.
Yeah.
It also gives the top 4 teams the advantage that you get by being top 4.
Correct.
Because if you win that, then you get the bye and the other teams are still running for it. So, yeah, I have no problem with that.
I'm regretting recording during this count because this count is fun, man. Look at these names: Raul, Brayshaw, Dacos, Zorko with 11 votes.
Yeah,
Horn
That's
Francis
crazy.
with 8?
He drops off. But,
no, he started strong, but Raul 15 already at round 7.
Wasn't Horn Francis
huge.
slightly disappointing?
What happens if Raul does a
can't
Crips and
remember.
gets like 40 votes?
What did I tell you? So just for the viewers here, I said there's 2 conditions I'm not watching the Brownlow over again. One is if the record gets broken again or even close to it, because that should never have happened.
Yeah.
And 2, if someone that none of us think should be a worthy winner, and there's a long list. So we admitted there's a long list. If it's like a Zorko, I'm sorry. I'm not watching it again.
Yeah.
It
Or
wouldn't
early
be
on when
Zorko.
Chad Warner was scoring well, was polling well.
I'm
Can't
sorry.
be him, man.
Get out.
Can't
Yeah.
be him. Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll talk a little bit about the Hawks. Yeah, I think the big talk will be for them securing Zach Merritt.
Yeah, they need
and then,
midfield power. Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it's like Will Day, Newcomb, Merritt, and then you have a bit of the hard nut, like Connor Nash who can run in there, Josh Ward. It becomes very interesting.
And they could be back in this exact position next year with Will Day if they manage him and he gets a bit of luck
Yeah,
with Merritt. So Newcomb's your 3rd best mid all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Just
Cal
crazy.
Shadir, who's injured, back in, who's
True.
a gun and a clutch performer as well.
Yeah,
So I've got, man, it's the first year as well with Battle and Barras, who played well but could have been better.
that to be honest with you, I think those 2 signing them up has been a huge success, man.
For sure.
100%.
And it's only year 1.
Every pick and whatever they sent over to the other clubs, hugely worth it.
Exactly right. So there is honestly like zero doubt in my mind. If we're doing predictions for next year right now, I would be willing to bet Hawthorn be in this exact position. Can they go one more? Obviously, there's other factors, but there's no reason whatsoever that they're not going to be back here again.
Yeah,
Unless injury travesties.
Yeah, no, 100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree with that.
Well said. Jump into Collingwood Brizzy.
Hollywood.
Shout out Brizzy, man. Shout out Brizzy.
That was a really quiet Instagram night.
Yeah,
That would have been so. Every second person you've ever met in your life would have posted Collingwood if they'd won that.
I was a little bit surprised that there wasn't a bit more sooking just because
The umpire.
there was the one front on contact when they were down 2 goals in the last quarter.
Mm.
And for me, like, I would just be hanging on to that if my team lost.
you
Well,
see
like-
me almost catch that like little fruit fly.
I did
whatever
notice
was.
that.
I don't know if I got it.
That-
but
I felt like that came out of me, that fly.
yeah, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It just flew out of your shirt.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
Here
saving
I-
it for later.
I'm trying to give a bit of credit to the Collingwood fans, and you guys are just
Yeah, we're not
Fruit fly
copying
was-
Nah,
that.
we ain't hearing it, bro. We ain't hearing it, bro. I'm
fair
killing
enough. All right.
flies. man.
I'll stop.
Yeah, nah. Look, you're probably right, but nah, look, there's no sympathy.
Well,
to be honest,
I mean, we talked about like this team. Obviously, we know that they have a old demographic,
yeah,
right? And Pendlebury's been one of the most durable players, right? Did Anderson win the goal of the year? That's my boy, man.
Anderson.
that would have been one of the random goals that he got. Just running.
No, he's
out
running
of
from the
defense.
midfield, man.
Yeah,
and
no, I was saying he did this. He did this a few times.
Look,
man.
this isn't. Look, it's a good goal, but it's not that crazy because the bounce for him, right? But look at the celebration.
Yeah,
Look at this, ready?
I think that
Shit. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it.
tough, bro.
Yeah, I reckon I used that photo in the thumbnail for that round.
Yeah.
I reckon I took a photo, like I screenshotted Instagram and took that.
Shit,
that
I have
moment.
no idea what I was saying.
Is that really goal of the year? Just to get back on that,
What's that?
I don't think that should be goal of the year.
No, I agree.
The vibes of it was great.
The vibe,
because
no,
it was
the moment,
context.
The moment.
Yeah.
Does context matter though?
Probably not.
I think it should just be
No,
the
I think
hardest.
context matters. Remember Jack Noon's goal after the sign for Carlton? Didn't win goal of the year. That's the type of goal of the year shit you want, man.
Yeah, but that also had an extreme level of difficulty. I'm not saying that. Like the actual kick is what I'm concerned with. Not the play was insane for Noah's goal, but for me, it's all about can a normal person kick that goal?
Yeah.
Like from just the kick bit.
So what do you think should have won after the Sam Flanders one?
Probably.
That was pretty crazy.
Probably.
Yeah.
I want to see the impossible goal get rewarded.
Yeah, I feel like
basically.
PC had a few crazy goals this year. But then they don't.
AFL hates him. I
Yeah,
know
exactly right. They do hate him.
Anyway,
yeah.
back on what we were saying.
We're talking about Collingwood.
So Collingwood are old, right?
Yeah.
Pendlebury, 400 games, super durable. Cops the calf in like the first 7 minutes. I say that I'm like they're done, right? And they were. I mean, but is that not just the sign of what can go wrong with an older team? I know it's just unlucky, right? But I think that like they haven't re-signed Jamie Elliott, even though he kicked 4 goals in this game and he kicked multiple goals in the game before.
Sorry about that. Jack Marnie's next to Matt Rowell.
Jack Marnie. Oh my! Wow.
Sorry, throwback.
He must be a really good bloke. Like for him,
I'm sure he is.
He might like to be on a list, to be at the Brownlow night. Like they must love him. They really must love him because he was meant to be super skillful, but he was the slowest small forward I've ever watched in my life.
The bold guy?
There he is, Matt. Look.
There he is, Jackie Marnie.
He was meant to be Jared Blair, man. Didn't work out.
How's he related to Gold Coast?
He plays for.
He's on the list.
He's on the list, man.
Maybe he's serious.
Yeah, he got
at least.
Yeah, he got rookie listed.
Anyway,
but anyway, digress there.
Well, we've got to get this point out, otherwise I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah. So they're old.
They're old, and they're trying to. I think they need to reshape their demographic now that they failed this year, right? Yeah. So like they're not even re-signing Jamie Elliott for 2 years. I think is what the topic is. They've got Howe, who's continuously got injured. They still got Pendlebury and Sidebottom on their list. Will Hoskin Elliott just retired. So there are some older players that they probably need to find a way to reinvest back into youth, I think, possibly.
Yeah. Look, and I think they haven't had like a high-end first or second round pick in a while,
other
apart
than
from
Dacos,
Dacos, of course. You know, it's just been a bunch of late seconds, third round picks, and you know they're speculative.
So they are the type of team that could drop off quite quickly.
Potentially, yeah. And mate, we're here for it.
Yeah, we're definitely
to be honest.
Here for it.
The team that let's be fair, the team that they versed is basically the exact opposite, because you look at their players under 22, 23, the Ashcrofts, Logan Morris, Ty Gallup, all of a sudden, has become. Did Zach Banch not mark of the year? Bro, he did the exact same mark as Darcy, and he's like 2 feet shorter.
I'm sorry, like none of those marks should be mark of the year candidates.
He didn't even mark it. Sam Darcy didn't even mark it, bro.
Yeah, bro, that just plumped out of his hands.
He just jumped in the
But
air.
you're right, though. If you're going to give the courageous one, give it to the guy who's 5'0".
Exactly. What a
No,
joke.
this is bullshit.
Yeah. No, it's
that
all about
explains why
names.
Banch was there. I'm like, why the hell's Banch in the North table? There
That
you go.
makes sense. No, that makes sense now. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about so Brizzy, the young list, man. Ty Gallup out of nowhere. It's now they have another
40, 42 or something.
Dave and Oscar Allen now. They're stacked, bro. That forward line's going to be stacked.
They've won.
Hipwood's going to be playing in the VFL next year.
Yeah, well, this is their third grand final in a row, and they've got Fletcher.
He's another huge one, man.
So Fletcher, Ty Gallup, your boy, what's his name?
Who's my boy? Wilmot.
Not Wilmot, the forward.
Forward. Logan Morris.
Yeah. The 2 Ashcroft brothers, Wilmot. Like, that's insane depth of young kids.
Yeah.
And they're in 3 grand finals in a row. Like they're not going anywhere.
No. This is a dynasty. And they've had some tough years, right, in the past. But now it's just like it's their time, and it's like it's kind of frustrating because it's all about luck, And I guess the people, the Queenslanders and the New South Wales people who are always against the Victorians, or even actually everyone else. Every other state will be like, oh, you Victorians have had it good for a while. Now let the other teams have it. But has it ever been this good for a team, apart from maybe like Geelong, back when they had, all those father-sons, 10 years ago, whatever it was?
Oh, Geelong finished top 4 for a number of years, and they didn't do anything. So it's taken them a long time to get to the point where they're genuinely competing for flags. So... But they're going to be in that stage for a long time, and they're going to be recruiting players. Like, a lot of people are linked to them. So, yeah, they're just going to get better next year, which is fascinating.
And this is the thing with Geelong in particular is, correct me if I'm wrong, but throughout the years, until the last maybe 5-6 years, they haven't been big on the recruitment. It was more just like great drafting. Like the previous Geelong dynasties was built on excellent draft picks and a few shrewd pickups. Like recently, it's like, okay, we've done that. We're really good at that now. Now we're just going to recruit everybody. And they're able to do that because they've got that culture, the sort of you're in Melbourne but you're not vibes. Like
they've got their point of difference, right?
Correct.
And now Brizzy are doing that, I guess. They're going to get Oscar Allen, and then Jordan Ridley's also wanting to go there. Draper's decided he's gone there as well, which I don't rate Draper that high, to be honest with you. But, he's a solid ruckman, you know.
And this is the thing, like you guys said, they're not going anywhere. and they've already had the success. So I feel like for the general AFL public, we're going to get bored of this real quick.
Yeah. Well, it is a bit of a boring grand final. Like, I think it's two teams that make sense that they're there, but there's no people's choice. There's no like a Gold Coast in there, or a Freo or something random, an Adelaide, something like that.
Yeah, because I wouldn't even consider Hawthorn that, to be honest.
No, Hawthorn not that at all.
Not yet.
Yuck.
You know what I mean? Like, they're just another team who's had huge
Another super
success.
team,
Yeah, 100%. So, mate, Freo, Gold Coast, North Melbourne step up next year.
Well, that's the good thing, I guess, is every other team has to step up because the bar's so high and you can't see the end of the dynasties in sight. So you need to get to that level. So
how do you do that?
How do you do that?
So, like, honestly, like, I look at it, from Carlton perspective, North perspective, even St Kilda to a lesser extent, because they've just gone crazy with the recruiting as well. I just don't see how you edge the gap. I don't see, like, I don't know.
You need to draft very well and have good structure and just continue to get better each year until you can then, like, from a North perspective, it's just get good enough to be able to get a few recruits. And everything has to you have to get it all right. You can't get any of it wrong. Yeah. So that's why it's so hard, obviously.
I said, like, we've talked about this game a little bit. Do you want to continue or do you want to move on? Because since we're talking about North, we do have to talk about the captain.
Right? Jai Simpkin.
Or perhaps former captain. We'll find out shortly. Yeah.
Well,
go. Yeah, you go.
I was just going to say, so last week we were talking about Zach Merritt. So it's interesting. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
My thing on the Zach Merritt, as I said last week, was if you're leaving for success and you're seeing Essendon now go through a full-on rebuild and you're 30 years old, you've never even played it. So you've played in, one couple finals? You've won none of them?
You haven't lost. Yeah, you haven't won one. Yeah.
I totally get that and I still stand by that. Now, the Simpkin one's interesting because he's apparently looking around, but it's not because of the success thing. If that was the one quote, I'd be like, fair, we're bound to lose one of them. But apparently it's just a positional thing. So loses his spot to LDU, Sheasel and Wardlaw, which is the right call. Goes to a wing, plays very well, and has the tank. And all we hear about with him is like the standards. He's got a tank on him.
Yeah, driving the standards.
So good. That's actually perfect. And you want out? Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a blessing though. And I was telling Matza this the other night. Dude's on $1 million a year. I didn't know that.
What?
Yeah. Well,
apparently bragging about it too.
So they're driving him out, bro.
So
he's not going.
Exactly.
They're driving him out.
I think it's a respectful
bro.
see you later.
Yeah.
But the point, I guess the greater point is like, how does a player and him get to $1 million? It's because you have to use the salary cap. So obviously, because he's been Sid Barker, dual Sid Barker medalist, and a captain, you're going to pay him uppers.
Yeah.
When in reality, he's probably no more than like a 750 player.
Yeah, 100% at max. Yeah.
I think end of season review went exactly as North wanted it, which was like, we're not going to force you out, but also this is the midfield mix.
Yeah.
And Sheasel referenced it at the end of the year on SEN. He said, we figured out sort of like the end of the year, this is the mix. And it was LDU, Sheasel, Wardlaw with a bit of Parker.
Yeah. I think it was more Parker than Sheasel. I feel like those were the two that were kind of like the ones that were sort of but
you can see Sheasel
it.
playing even more. Obviously Parks is going to finish up in the next year or two.
Yeah,
so,
true.
That's the mix.
Yeah.
Then you throw in McKercher, you throw in O'Sullivan.
Yeah, maybe even Tom Powell perhaps.
Maybe even Powell, although he did lose them at the end of the year. But the point being, Simpkin, and this is something I've been on, and you know that even though we don't talk North all the time, I've been big on the fact that North fans overrate their players a lot. And the fact that this guy has won 2 Sid Barker medals says more about where North has been at than his quality.
Yeah,
and it's no disrespect. He's just a fine player that's somehow become our captain due to off-field stuff probably.
Yeah.
And, man, if we save that money and he doesn't want to be here and play the role for the team, he can go. Simple as that.
Yeah. Look, I think the interesting with the quote, it doesn't sound like it. I don't think it's ever going to come to an actual trade request. I think it is in exploring options. I think he's going to get a pretty clear reality check that I'll be surprised if there's another team who wants to give him that time in the midfield. Because my first thought was Essendon because of the fact that you have Setterfield who, he's in and out. He misses a lot of games. Caldwell misses a lot of games. Merritt's wanting out. They've got all these, small mids who are similar to Simpkin, but just don't play 22, 23 games a season. But then for them, they really have to they've got a ton of picks in this draft. You got to use it on, your potential future mids and give them time in the middle of the ground. So why would you give that time to Simpkin? Brad Scott is probably the answer, him taking care of his boy. But yeah, it doesn't really make sense for them. Doesn't make sense for West Coast really. and would Simpkin want to actually move to Perth? I don't know. Does he really want to play like midfield that bad that he wants to go to West Coast? Like, other than that, I can't think of a team where he would actually accept him. You know, but yeah,
like you said, with the trade request thing, like players do that. They look around, they figure out what they want to do, then they hand in the request. So like, if he does, like I'm considering this like, yes, he does want to leave. Where he goes, what we get. Honestly, I think like we were just saying, if you rise up the ladder, you need to get everything right.
Yeah,
and if there's key players in your team that don't want to be there, that's not right. You got to go.
100%. Another team, like say if Adelaide can't get Petrarca over the line, because that's something that they've been linked with. Maybe you could sell it to them that, hey, 2-time Sid Barker medalist surely is better than Berry and potentially Peeling. Potentially, but like it's very loose.
There's no way Adelaide goes for Simpkin. That's insane.
Man, I'm throwing it out there. I'm trying to provide some options here.
No,
you know, I'm trying to
look from an outside perspective. Simpkin sucks, and no one wants him. That's the outside perspective.
That's fair enough.
Fair enough. Look, I think we're
He's
kind
the
of
most boring midfield option that I think anyone could be linked to, in my opinion.
Look, but he has twinkle toes, bar. That's the thing that he does have going for him. He has twinkle toes, and then occasionally he looks good, but most of the time he's just butchering it. So yeah,
how old is he?
27?
20. Yeah, he's at the peak of his powers.
He's older than that, surely.
No, he's not like 30.
Really?
Yeah, he's relatively young. But yeah, a young captain.
Look, we'll see how it all works out. But
yeah,
I wasn't expecting it, but also it kind of makes sense if North is just. I think, look, if you're just being honest with your captain about his role in the team, and he's decided, okay, fine, do you mind if I look around? And they're like, yeah, sure. That's cool. That's fine.
It sounds like a pretty respectful conversation when you put it like that. And maybe at that point, is it really like we got to take the captaincy away from him? Do you have to?
Well,
like, I don't really know.
The North players vote.
Oh, there you go.
So
I think they'll probably say it all. To be honest with you,
if the vibes are off, then they don't.
Exactly right. But yeah. Anyway, thought that was worth having a discussion.
What about the Blues getting? What were you saying? Karmas and Jeth.
Buku's requested trade to Carlton. Was kind of obvious a Silvani kind of replacement because he's a bit of a swingman as well. They might even play him forward and play Kemp back, something like that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Think it's that exciting, but it's obvious that they know that they need a need in that area. I think CJ's linked to Carlton as well. So I'd take him, even though it sounds like Hawthorn fans just reckon he butchers it all the time, and I think it's a bit harsh to judge him because he came on as a sub in the final. So, you know, the pace of the game was hard to pick up. He's clearly an athlete.
Yeah.
Is he the weapon by foot that we need? I'm not sure, but I'd take him. So, yeah, Carlton's a very interesting one. There's a lot kind of going on. I think the Flanders one will be interesting as well. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes to Carlton.
See,
because that could be some sort of Curnow sitch.
But I don't look. I want to do a video about this actually of where players fit into clubs, right? And Flanders,
halfback.
Right? And that's what I'm thinking. But I think so. There's Sard and Nick Newman, and Flanders. I think that it could work. It seems a bit heavy in regards to the distributor type players, But like if you look at it in the midfield, right? There's just no way you can fit him in unless Chera moves back, which he was doing at points of the year. Yeah. But I don't think he's really that suited to the role.
I think he'd need to be a halfback. I mean, Sard doesn't really do much attacking these days. Newman will come back and be on the left side. Flanders is a right footer, so he comes onto the other pocket. We've been playing Ollie Hollands there. I mean, he's better than Ollie Hollands.
Oh, mate, he'd be a huge upgrade.
On when Ross was with Dan Does Footy, he actually mentioned Flanders.
Yeah, well, mate,
because it's open in the air. I like when coaches just say how it is.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this. I'll leave that to the recruiting team.
I'll leave you guys to speculate.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, no, look, well, mate, Flanders at Saints, all of a sudden, Naz, Flanders.
I like Flanders at Saints a lot.
Yeah, that would be.
I kind of want him to go there. That'll be fun.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I feel like Saints is going to become everyone's second team because you'd hope that with the fact that they're going all in, which I think every club deep down wants their team to do that.
Yeah,
they want us there. They want you to just. Whoever's available, go get him. And if it fails, it fails. But we're trying, and that's what the Saints are doing. They get Flanders on top of that, man. On top of already what they've got, it'd be huge.
100%.
Talk a little bit about the granny. I reckon
let's do it.
Exciting.
Well, let's go a few tips. So, actual tip of the game. Let's go first goal scorer, Norm.
Oh yeah,
a couple of that stuff. So, what do you boys think?
All right, so what we're doing?
We'll go winner first, then margin.
I think Geelong will win by 17.
Do you think it'll be good? So this is actually a good little talking point because for me, as much as I don't care much for the teams, if the final is close, it just becomes a sick game no matter what.
Yeah, well, we want it close, man.
Well, how many times, man? I can think of more times in the last 10 years that the grand final's been so one-sided.
Yeah, but remember, only 2 weeks ago, Geelong absolutely smashed Brisbane.
Correct. I hope that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, same.
But I'm more inclined to tip that happening again than a close one under 3 goals. That's just me.
Oh, okay.
So I'll go Geelong by, I don't know, like 38 or something.
Okay. I'm going to go Geelong by 5.
Oh, you could. I hope so.
Yeah, because that's just what I want. I'm not a good tipper. I can't predict. To be honest, you know what? I'm going to swing it the other way. I'm going to go Brizzy by 5.
Brisbane could easily win, by the way.
Yeah.
I know they just got smacked, but they've got the firepower and the depth around the ground to go with Geelong.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing for me is what's going on with Dunkley, because apparently he left the stadium with a moon.
They reckon he's all right.
Look, I hope so, because honestly, I think when it comes to their midfield, like obviously McCluggage, Ashcroft and Neil are all great, but I think that inside tackling presence, even the little bit of a marking target that he can be up the ground, I think he's so important.
Yeah.
The fact that he's never been an All-Australian is disgusting, but he's such a good mid.
Yeah, you're right.
So
but you know
good.
what? He has to go hard up against Tom Atkins and neutralise him, because Atkins, we didn't talk about him. He was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Mate, another one that they've, plucked out of obscurity.
Yeah, he was so tough. So Dunkley's kind of the head-to-head with him. Neil will probably play, which is
That's what
fascinating.
they're talking about, yeah. Well, he replaces Berry, in from the lineup, and then someone will probably Bailey just goes back to the wing. Slash half forward.
Yeah, they'll probably move all the pieces anyway. But yeah, you're right. If Berry doesn't play, that's a clean kind of swap. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a big game player moment. I mean, you saw what Dangerfield did in the final. I've been very impressed with Rayner.
Yeah.
He's really stepped up this final series. Harris Andrews had an amazing game. He's going to be a rock up forward. We know the season that Jeremy Cameron's had. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a very high-skill game. Hopefully it's close. In terms of prediction, if I've gone with Geelong, I'll have to pick a Norm Smith from Geelong. And I'm going to go Bailey Smith. I feel like it's his year, man. Centre of attention. I just reckon I could see him holding the cup and then saying something like, woo, Dustin Martin style.
Yeah, and then drop the C-bomb again.
See the bomb, flipping off the other fans. I don't know. It's written in the stars, I reckon.
Oh, man, when you make that call, you can't go back.
I don't even like the prediction, but I think it's funny.
I'm going to go Norm Smith. Since I'm going with Brizzy, I reckon we're going to go back-to-back Will Ashcroft, mate.
Ooh,
Another soccer
back
goal?
to back.
Another soccer goal. Yeah, back-to-back Will Ashcroft, man.
At
Then
that
all of a
age.
sudden, that conversation between him and Nick Dacos, all of a sudden, man,
He's a special player, man.
he is, man.
Yeah.
He's a big
He is.
game player, Will.
And the fact that these young kids have got so much... We talked about how good they are and how young they are, but how much experience they've already got.
Yeah.
I mean, Wilmot, they said Wilmot's already played like 17 finals or some shit. I haven't fact-checked that, but that's insane.
I think his first
Game was a final.
Was a final because
Yeah.
it was just like he just been building himself up, and then he was just ready to go at that time. So yeah,
I'm going to go something that hasn't happened in a very long time. I can't even remember. But the key forward actually being dominant in a final. I'm going to go Jeremy Cameron. He'll kick 4 or 5.
Not
Mate,
enough, mate.
You know the funny
Bailey
thing is,
Fridge kicked 6 that he couldn't get there.
do you remember
Yeah,
who my
true. But he'll
prediction-
get it. Cameron will get it.
Do you remember my prediction was last year for Norm Smith, a Brisbane player, and it was the opposite end of the ground.
Harry.
Yeah, I said
Andrews?
Harris Andrews, man. Obviously, that if he locks down Jeremy Cameron and takes like 12 marks,
The chances of a key back getting Norm Smith is close to 0.
look, if any of the key backs were to get it, or defenders in general were to get it, it'd be him, Tom Stewart, who's obviously not playing.
You have to rack up the ball as well.
Yeah, but I think just because Harris Andrews, he has those marks where he just stretches out the arms and he just looks like a colossus, and you can't not notice that.
He had a great game. I think that if they had votes for last game, he'd be in there for sure because he played a massive role.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a midfielder.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I've gone Will Ashcroft.
And it is like a
I
media...
learned my lesson.
Isn't like a media personality sort of contribute? Like they'll just pick...
I don't know how that stuff works.
They'll
man.
pick like a... Like, I don't know, like a Luke Hodge or something. Like a couple of those kind of guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all
So-
part of the committee.
Yeah, so it'd
The
be someone
same-
popular.
Yeah.
All right,
So
first goal.
First goal. We'll go Jezza.
I'm going to go Cam Rayner.
I'm going to go...
He was center of a bit of controversy last time they played, so...
I'm going to go a half back.
You love a halfback.
Zach Guthrie.
Zach.
Zach Guthrie first goal.
You
How
might
many
as well
goals
put
has he kicked?
$5 on that and make some money, right?
How many goals has
Zach-
that dude kicked in the year?
Zach Guthrie, halfback. He's going to find an opportunity to just go bang.
Look, I'm gonna go click. I'm gonna find him. Where is he on this list here?
Back in Zach Guthrie, man.
Back in Zach Guthrie. How many goals is
Do
he?
we each just put $5 into this?
No, if we're betting, I'm not going Zach Guthrie.
Just for the lulz, man. We'll make some money on this.
Who else? I like the idea of a halfback. Who else could do it?
Wilmot?
So he's kicked.
I like a Wilmot.
So you've gone Zach Guthrie, who's kicked 1 goal this year.
Has he?
He's kicked
So he's
1
done
goal.
So he's
So
done.
he's ready for 2,
Yeah,
mate.
he's ready for 2.
He's gonna double his scoring.
Yeah, I like that idea. I reckon it's going to be a halfback. You know, like it starts early, then you get the handball, then he gives the handball off, he kicks it, and it's in the air, then the crowd just starts to lift. I can see it.
That's usually more the dagger goal, not the
It's a
first
dagger goal. It's a dagger goal, but I reckon for the first goal,
Because you
halfback.
need to feel the game out to know when you can go and be that extra
yeah,
man.
yeah.
That, I don't think that usually happens at the start.
The dagger goal is crazy though.
That's that goal.
Yeah.
It's like the Zorko one the other night.
Yeah, there's
It's a
all
dagger.
goal. I feel like it's
That's what I'm thinking is going to start it off. So which halfback does it? I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's not. Look, Tom Stewart would have been the
Because
guy.
Tom Stewart's done it
Yeah.
many times.
I'm trying to think. Did Geelong have that much of an attacking?
No, that's what I can't think.
Back.
I couldn't really think of another halfback.
Might be like a Bose if you count him.
Nah, but
Yeah.
it's
Maybe we just go Zorko, man.
Yeah, well, Zorko's already done it in the last game. And Wilmot, I talk about him too much.
Yeah. You know what? One actually, he's a little smoky. Your boy, Jack Martin.
That would
First
be
goal.
hilarious. You know what would be funny? Jack Martin, Norm Smith.
Bro, the melts from Carlton supporters.
He hasn't done much, Jack Martin. He didn't have a great game either. I thought he was a bit off.
Yeah.
He's probably their worst forward because we didn't talk about Sean Manor, who was great. I think Martin was probably the worst forward. But
He's Manor a shit. Norm Smith.
Potentially, yeah.
Norm Smith.
That's
any one of those players is a shout, man.
Yeah. I want one of the players that were like a mature age recruit to get one, just because of the story.
You know who'd be a
They'll
great one? Blitzharves.
Blitzharves, no.
He'd be a great one.
He'd
A
have
soldier. That's just. But like, how would he get noticed?
They
as
don't. Yeah, they
that's
don't
the
give the
thing,
votes
yeah.
like that, man.
Yeah. Nah, fair enough.
Anyway.
Anyway, I think we'll end it there and enjoy the rest of the Brownlow.
Yeah.
Bruce
Bruce Revel.
Revel. He gets subbed
Super
on
sub?
early.
Super
Yeah,
sub?
Subbed on early.
He gets subbed
35
early
disposals.
because Neil's calf goes. He gets subbed on and he kicks
There
like
you
6
go.
goals.
There you go. Mate, you heard it here first, guys. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
Enjoy the game.
Colin Wu.
Congrats, Matt Rowell in advance.
That's it.